that's like what I told you, Alex, like committing to the unknown. I think we have a fear of committing to the unknown. Yeah. We don't want to put in all this time and all this effort and all this love and all this your everything into somebody just not to get that reciprocated back, you know? Yeah. So you're just like shooting shots in the dark, like, okay, like maybe it's gonna go this way, or
and it begs the question. You have to have faith, right, and courage. There's courage and vulnerability, and I think that begs the question: do we really want freedom? Do we really want to be free? Or are we afraid of our own freedom, and are we afraid of what we could do with it? And I think that this subject is the best space to answer that in. I feel like because I feel like people view polyamory and freedom in relationship as freedom. Oh, you can do whatever you want to. You could just, you humping everybody and it's whatever. And it's not that, I think sometimes there's safety in commitment. There's safety in your mind. And I feel like that also breeds on the other side of it can breed a lot of possession and ego and narcissism as well. Because I'm not yours. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right. We're experiencing each other. We're all here experiencing each other during different seasons. And if I get into something and I feel as though that you're acting as though you own me or I'm your possession, some women like that, but I'm not one of those women.
Right.
So is there a mutual respect there? And can we have freedom within love?
I feel like it all comes down to the keyword communication. You got to communicate with your partner, whoever you're, in the entanglement with or whatever the situation is. You got to communicate, figure out what are we doing? What is it? Right. Let it be known up front so then you don't have those questions later on. You don't have those issues later on.
So. True polyamory is developed within yourself. It is not built within a relationship. It's a series of conversations and honesties that you have to have within yourself. So once you get to that point to where you're honest with what you want, what you're looking for, and what you're willing to deal with, right, where your boundaries are, I can then approach any woman free of any attachment because I know exactly where my lines are. I know exactly what I want to communicate. So now I can just freely vibe with this woman. Any questions she asks me, there's no dark space. There's no shadow.
That was last episode was on transparency and connection. Like it was definitely about that. And I think that is something, if you know your boundaries, because if you don't know your boundaries and what you're going after, you're accepting anything. You're having all types of other conversations going on. And it's very hard to muddle through the mess, but it does narrow it down when you know yourself and you know what you're looking for.
But I say that to say, once you find freedom, like that's where the freedom is. The freedom is in self. Once you find that freedom in self, if you're true to it and honest to it, I'll never be in a relationship where I'm not free.
Absolutely.
Any love that I encounter from here forth will do nothing more than accentuate my freedom.
Because if it's not freedom.
There you go. I already set that boundary. My boundaries are my freedom. So if you're willing to play within this field, I love it.
Right.
Here's my playground.
And it is evolving. It is evolving because I've been in situations where I've set lines with women and then we get into it, feelings deepen. And then when I'm thinking, everything cool, this what it is, she hit me with a, baby, we need to talk. And now all of a sudden, the boundaries are a little different. Because I have to afford her the same respect she afforded me at the beginning to be like, okay, if this is what you want, if this is what you're feeling, I'm willing to explore it the same way you was willing to explore it. And be honest with it. It may end up at the end of it, I might be like, hey, baby, I found out this don't work for me. Just found a line. Or it could be, hey, baby, if this is something that you want to do. I'm game. That's your play field, it's mine.
I think there's... Go ahead, Kelly T. You want to say something finally? Come on, Kelly T. Say something.
Yeah, that breath.
So, and again, when people talk about monogamy, there's different definitions for it. One that you brought up, you're talking about you wouldn't be interested in a polyamorous relationship because it seems like it's a lot, but would you care if your man was not sexually monogamous? In other words, if he was traveling, if he was busy, and say he's on the road and he hooks up with somebody, but you never know about it. He doesn't have any outside children. He uses protection so he doesn't bring home any diseases. Is that something that you would be comfortable if he said at the beginning, look, when I'm out and I'm busy and I'm doing whatever, I may sleep with other women. I'm not going to be sexually monogamous. But as far as who's going to get my heritage? You know, who's going to get my Social Security when I die? Right. Who's going to benefit all of my legacy? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, that goes back to what I said, like, what are your needs? What are your expectations? Let's talk about that. And if it's that type of relationship where you're constantly traveling, I'm pretty much stationary, maybe you're gone 6 months out of the year, then it's like, yeah, I understand those needs. As long as I don't see it, you know, fine, I'll be okay with that. Now, when boundaries are crossed, rules are broken, then it's like, okay, maybe we need to dial it back. Maybe we need to revisit. Maybe we need to stop. Like, that's when the discussion needs to open back up.
That's fair.
You got a sister?
I know, right? Can you tell us how they made you? No, I'm joking.
My boy that be on the road, he gave me a new question to ask women. I never thought about that. Hey, that's about honesty.
But that's more so my issue is my issue is with sexual monogamy because I think it's so laughable. I'm just like, y'all, like, if humans were sexually monogamous, we wouldn't have so many people cheating. You know,
literally in the research it says in humans, in mammals, period, monogamy should be practiced when necessary.
Thank you.
To contribute to a certain goal, which is oftentimes raising offspring or creating a home or environment. Right. But polygamy should be practiced when you can, basically.
And that's why I say men typically exercise their options, whether self-imposed or it's the people don't want you imposed. Either way it goes, you're going to exercise your options. And I think it should be more of a kudos and more of a respect to the men who do decide, look, even though I can sleep with a ton of different women, I'm going to sleep with this one woman like that, or one woman. That should mean something. But I'm curious to know what your all's opinion is on that. If your man wasn't interested in sexual monogamy, but he said, listen, when I marry somebody, when push comes to shove, you're the person that I want to have all that. How would you feel about that?
I feel like Sahara said, if I did not, like, you would literally, like, I would have to not, I don't want to know nothing.
I don't even.
Right. Like, you would have to answer the call every time I call. I don't care if you mid-stroke.
You're right. For real.
Hold on, baby, calling.
Get out the situation.
Hold up.
You gotta go for a second.
It's number one.
Period. It's number one. Call it. I gotta be bottom. I gotta be the one. You know.
That's
so if I call, you better answer, because then I'm gonna get suspicious.
Right. Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
How come I can't be involved?
Right.
Who you with?
That's understandable. But I mean, in a situation like that, you also can't be looking for something. So it works best when you don't have someone who's calling every single time that you're away from each other, like every 15 minutes, because then you're going to find out that I'm mid-stroke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you can give me the space, to do what I got to do.
I think it could, like, it's interesting because I love space within a relationship. Like, I love, like, I want to be my individual self. Like, I want to be, and it's not always been that way, right? I feel like a learned behavior was like this codependent, like, we fall into each other type stuff. And I feel like when you can exercise independence, and when I see marriages and relationships like that, I feel them to be so honorable. Like, when you can be in another room with another woman, or you can be in a room with another man, and there's that trust. And it's like, I see it a lot in Troy's marriage. I'm just gonna quick shout out. I really am, I get excited when I see their marriage, because it's like, we're having a meeting and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, babe, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really chill. Like, it's like, I trust you. There's nothing even to think about right here. And that's the type of transparency and the type of trust and love that I think a lot of people desire. It's like, but what is this learned behavior to where we get into this ego and possessiveness?
That's what I hate, possessiveness.
Right.
You said it. I don't want to be possessed by anybody. Like, since we got our freedom, the last thing I want to go do is take my wonderful life and submit my freedom to somebody who's going to be self-conscious, all these different worries that you're going to have. Just assume that I'm out there doing it. How about that? Just assume I'm out there doing it when you're not around. Assume that I'm not going to bring any outside children and no diseases home, and you'll be fine.
Right.
Because I don't want you acting like I'm lying. The one thing I feel like for a man that kills him is to look at a woman who used to trust him, who's looking at him with doubt and suspicion, especially when it's because she's insecure. Because it's like, what do I do with that? If you don't feel like you deserve me, I don't even want to be here at this point.
I feel like women often feel the same way too, though.
Fair,
because it's, for men, the question that you just asked us, well, how would you feel if,
it's absolutely different for men and women.
Absolutely. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, okay.
And, I don't necessarily want to be barefoot and pregnant. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want to work. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I absolutely want to network. I want to travel. I want to do all these things. And so that is some pushback that I've seen in dating. That I've seen a lot of men, they don't like that. You know, it's like, well, quit your job, baby. You know what I'm saying? I want you available when I want you available. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
because men, like, you know how you all wouldn't want to watch your man do it with another woman, right? Like right in front of you?
Yeah.
Like most women wouldn't want that, right?
Right.
Most men don't want y'all doing that right in front of them. And that's exactly what women do when they go to the office. They go work for some other man, some other manager typically, and they give all this to this job. They give all this emotion and this energy and this effort, and they talk to you crazier than they would talk to these strangers outside.
I think it depends on the woman and her discipline and her state of mind. I think,
sure. And it's always going to be a depend situation. There's always going to be the exceptions to the rules. But just in general, I can't tell you how many times a woman comes home stressed talking about her job. Men, like he said, Solar said it earlier, we're fixers. So if you're going to sit here and come and complain about your job, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is get rid of it. If it's that big of a deal,
unless it's my passion, I'm gonna take offense to that. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be good and bad days. I'd want to come home and be like, okay, baby, what can I do to alleviate some of this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Let me give you a massage. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it could be not quit your job, but take the day off tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Let me pay for a spa day. Let me get the kids so you could just get some time, you know, alone and with yourself or something like that. There are ways financially or without any money that you could show your support. Because the main time that I have felt, I don't feel flattered when somebody tells me to quit my passion or anything that makes me an individual. I feel flattered when you're taking and respecting my passion and you're going and supporting it by alleviating some of the hardship that I may have while pursuing it, but you're also supporting the fact that I want it.
But do you complain about your passion or do you look for solutions?
Yes, you complain.
But you look for solutions as well.
Well, here's the difference though. Women complain about their job. They don't look for solutions when it comes to their job. So if they talk about their manager being an a-hole or this email that they got or the fact that so-and-so called in sick, so now they're going to have to cover that shift, all of that stuff is not a solution. There's nothing that a man can do with that.
You're also missing the point that women are emotional beings.
I understand
Sometimes she's not always looking for a solution. She just wants to talk about it.
Right.
And that's where
oh my God, you made the biggest point of 2022 and one in 1995.
That's what alleviates all that pressure. Like, baby, let me just talk to you. I'm not necessarily talking to you crazy about it. I'm talking to you about it crazy because I can't talk to Shirley about this.
Right.
Like the way I want to go off on her. I can't talk to my manager the way I want to go off on him.
Yeah.
But I can go off in front of you, have your sympathy, have your understanding, and then be done with it.
You know what the sexiest thing is? When you like, baby, what'd she do? And what'd you say?
And then what happened?
And then what happened, baby?
Yeah. And then what you do?
That's why side dudes win, because side dudes can turn that on for 2 hours and they can do a great They can do a great job of doing that with y'all, right? But when I'm with you every single day and I've heard that for day number 367 and you've gone through this for a year and 2 days, I'm like, quit your job.
My problem is, in a relationship, that would drive me crazy.
It drives me
if I know that I'm about to send you home and somebody else about to deal with you, I can deal with it, baby. What did he say? Oh man, he crazy.
He crazy.
About to send you home, bro.
He's like, go home.
Maybe I need a side one to deal with my
I'm gonna be real with you, men. The one thing we love about women is when you're happy, and y'all don't realize that. The most powerful thing in the world, I'm gonna speak for myself, is a happy woman. Makes me feel like I can go out there and conquer a freaking nation. What you need me to do? I don't want to hear about you complaining about these little petty things that I feel like I can fix. I'm a fixer. You trying to eat rice with a hammer. You got the wrong tool. I'm meant to take a nail and we gonna build a foundation. Use me as your hammer. When you come to me and you try to use me as rice, like I just feel dirty and slimy and nasty and like.
I will say I gotta echo that. I have dated more than a few independent women because I like entrepreneurs and I like ambitious women. There are situations where it's like you're not using me as your man.
That's right.
And women don't realize how that wears on a man.
Jeez.
Because at the end of the day, I am trying to take this away from you. I am trying to be that thing that you are looking for. And you can say that women don't want, y'all just want to be emotional sometimes and you just want to talk. That is true. But y'all gawk at the man that can step in and embrace the situation.
That's true.
let me be more specific on that, right? Because I did preface that statement by saying independent women. Every time I've had this problem, it's always a woman who has had to take care of herself and got used to taking care of herself, right? And not always, but I will say a very high amount of them also didn't know their daddies, but we'll leave it.
But that is kind of important.
Yeah, it is, but I just didn't want to get, I ain't know how y'all, you know, I ain't want to trigger nobody.
That's really wrong. You know that women with.
Real life.
That's a whole other thing.
Because I think there's something to be said about seeing provision and seeing somebody provide and seeing what it means to take the back seat sometimes and let that person handle it.
Okay.
So when it came to those situations, right, that is what was yearning in me. There was this moment where I know this is the moment where I'm supposed to step forward. You are supposed to step back. And whatever comes next is going to hit me first.
That's right. Come on.
Let that happen.
There you go.
But the independent woman feels like I'm taking something from her. Or feels like I'm making her dependent, which I'm trying to do neither. I'm not trying to do either. I'm just trying to occupy a space that I know this is what I'm built for. You feel it. It's in the attraction. And it's also a part of those relationships that we idolize from the past, that we try to bring forward and that we want to be like, I want the relationship my grandparents had. I want that. It kind of stems from the same place, right? At some point, and I don't get mad at women because I understand you had to take care of yourself.
Now, do you tell all this, or do you tell your woman that when she has concerns?
Oh yeah, I will break it down for a woman. I'll be honest, if y'all ain't noticed, I can talk. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't get, or can you get through to independent women though? Independent women in
I have
an
it.
instant.
I feel like to the right independent woman, you can't get through because right now I'm hearing you. I'm hearing everything that you say.
But I'm gonna give you a strong caveat. Okay. We are not sitting in the heat of a moment of a situation that presses you against what you feel like you need.
Also true.
In that moment, right, we can want to be our best selves.
That's right.
But we become primal because we're trying to survive.
Okay.
Right.
You know, that's the whole thing that led you to be an independent woman.
Break it down.
Even the most ambitious woman, right? At the end of the day, you wouldn't go through certain lengths if you know you had a man sitting there that was there to protect you.
That's
go
what
through
we're
that
trying to
length.
say.
You can still go out and survey the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a corner that you gonna leave for your man. Like, baby, you go handle that. You know, so
I think that all falls back on the trust factor, though. Like my whole thing, it's very hard for me to give up control over something if I don't trust the fact that you're gonna handle that.
Or if I don't have the opportunity to. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But I'm continuously let down. And I feel like, okay, I've given you time after time after time chances. Now it's me to just do it because I've given you X amount of chances.
Now you're
I already know how it's going to end up.
Right.
Now you're mad at me nagging and always uncomfortable and feeling unsafe. And the main security is it. It's security and love for women. For men, it's respect and providership. So I feel as though like when I don't feel secure, when I feel like you don't have a plan, I want to be included in that plan. Don't tell me to just sit down and shut up. I want to be included in that plan. I want to have a voice in that plan.
as you should.
And what we're doing, right?
Exactly.
Now, to her point and to your point, when it comes to that trust and it comes to like when I've seen time and time again, it's kind of fallen through. Now, I'm stuck in a situation to where you feel as though I'm diminishing your masculinity when I bring up a challenging question.
Right.
And now it's not that. It's just I want to open up the conversation as to, well, you know, you haven't worked in this amount of time. I'm wondering what's happening here. I love you, but I'm scared.
It's different this time.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Please educate me.
And I feel like men feel emasculated when women ask too many questions. Or when they don't just blindly trust.
And that's fair, and that's something that the men have to handle on the men's side, right? So when we talk about, like, for me, my mind frame is usually towards what women want. And what I feel like the disconnect is like, men usually talk about what they want from their woman from the standpoint of we are what you want already. So I'm trying to like eliminate the idea of somebody who can't provide or somebody who hasn't worked in months or somebody who's dependent upon another man. Most of the men that women are attracted to are the type of men who aren't depending on other men. They're entrepreneurs. Or they've got a side hustle, or they've got like an intellect or a brand, or they have something about themselves that they can take and it's valuable to other men in the world. And the woman can recognize that. That's typically the type of person that women are going for. And in those situations, it's still present where they don't want to trust. Like, would you ask Jeff, or no, hold on.
Yeah, Bezos.
Bezos, right?
Yeah.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Would you ask him his day-to-days and be like, so what's this new Amazon freight thing?
Hell yeah.
Like, and that's my point. And that's my point. He doesn't have you there for that. He made $1 billion company without you.
I would have been included.
But I understand that, but that's not the point. It's like there's certain places that men need to go. Like you said, a woman can survey the entire world, but there needs to be a certain spot that is just for her man where she's like, all right, you go there. Y'all gotta let us have that. There's some times that we need to do stuff. We need to go lose $250,000 that you never even knew about to go make $10 million. Cause look, you see how y'all react.
Because if we knew about it,
no, for real though.
Y'all see how y'all react.
Perfect reaction.
It's a little bit too much. So you can't. But men who have made it, who have done that, are used to transactions like that.
He's speaking the gospel though, because you don't know how many millionaires though that you could bump into. That if you really had their story, they'll tell you, man, I lost $100,000 on this venture.
Yep.
I lost $50,000 on this venture. I lost $250,000 over here. I had to invest $500,000 over here.
Yeah.
That's how money moves.
That's right.
So he really did illustrate a real point. Sometimes women want to know more than what they need to know, man. Y'all be asking questions, and then if a man gives it to you, you have that reaction. You lost what? Yeah. Now all of a sudden the man is stressed.
Yes.
Because he knows this is the playing field.
Okay, I can understand that. There isn't. Okay, I can understand that. If you take care of it, take care of it. Yeah. But I don't want to know something going on when we about to lose the house.
I don't want to continuously live through the after effects of all these ventures gone wrong.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2 to 5. Okay. But 20, 30.
Right.
Honey.
At that point, why am I here?
Yeah.
This is why most men find that they're at their peak when they are, at least for black men, in their mid-30s, 40s, and 50s, because that's when they're established. That's when they've done all of the other stuff. They've hit all the hard knocks, and they're established, and they can say, listen, this $250,000 home that you see here ain't going nowhere.
Right. I made a firm decision recently. I said I'm not dating any men under 30 to 35 years old. I'm not. I cannot, because where I'm at and what I seek, especially with a child, and like kind of like where like I want that to be figured out. I want you to know who you are. I want you to be established in your career and how you're going to provide security.
Right.
And I want to be able to come as a woman and add to that. I'm done being the. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see potential. I'm done being the potential girl.
Yeah.
I'm done doing that. You know, I want to be I see you. Here's what I can add to that, and let's build together. Yeah. And I can make what you already have, King, better. You know, and I feel like that's how it should be. So. Yeah. If you working on it, work it by any means. It was nice to meet you, sir. I wish you well. Right. Peace and blessings to you, King.
I need you to stand in your abundance just as I stand in my abundance.
Absolutely.
And that's how, and kings need to recognize that. At the end of the day, if you're not at that position, stop trying to sell people the blueprint.
Right.
Stop doing pre-orders on your blueprint, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You're not even there yet.
Go build it. You ain't even did a road test.
Your Range Rover is rented.
And you got this, you know what I'm saying? And this woman's falling in love with the blueprint. No, go build it, put it on the road, put some miles on it. Once it's real, then be like, I got a car for you.
Yeah.
Now,
and to my girlies.
Can I say this though?
You should.
I think it's dangerous to get to a point to where you expect somebody to be whole before they reach out to connect.
Oh, absolutely not. That's not possible.
I'm gonna tell you. Well, what we talking about though, from the perspectives, right? We're talking about perspectives of men, right? That security, that money, that establishment, that's them being whole. Now, we know that's not the whole case. There's a mental side to it. There are traumas and triggers that you need to figure out.
Right.
But to a perspective, a man has made it once he's gotten to this point. So sometimes you look for men in this area to then respect you and want you to be a partner. But in their mind, they already made it.
Yeah, we
don't need a partner.
I'm
not looking for somebody.
No, okay, well,
to
let me,
stand next
to your
to
point,
me.
I want, okay. And I know it's possible because it's happened before, where it's like, I see you and I see you and I see your light and I see what you can bring. And yes, I have this established, but I'm looking at something past your physical beauty and what you can, the fact that you can just take space up in my house.
Absolutely.
But I know that you're going to add an intellect and a vision that I could expand on for myself. So yes, you have it, but I think there's nothing more satisfying or flattering to me when I'm like, wow, okay, like, so you appreciate what I could, based off what I've built as a woman and what you can see that I've already done.
I'm talking about men in real life though. But no, that's what I'm saying though. We done throw out a lot of philosophy. Most men walking around in 2022, if they got the money to call themselves stable and secure, they're not looking for that. I'm just saying they're not looking for that, and they won't look for that because they've already done all the work.
That's right.
Vice versa. But
come on, girlies.
But no, I'm not disagreeing with you. But again, perception is reality.
Right.
To that man, that doesn't even exist. What you said don't even matter. Baby, I got money. What are you talking about?
That's not
I got this house. What are you talking
No.
about? But this is my point. My whole point in bringing this up, right? When women expect that before you turn over love and vulnerability, I understand trying to protect yourself. Just beware that you are building a man that really isn't equipped for what you're looking for. Because there's something to be said about, although I don't agree, like we shouldn't roll it all the way back to 14 and 12, right?
Yeah.
There is something to be said about starting out young.
Yeah.
Because that phase of I see potential and I build in you walks right along with the phase of I'm selling the blueprint.
Yep.
Both are natural progressions. Both women and men have to progress through these to get to those mature versions of what they want to be in a relationship. So there is something to be said when you're able to connect at that level.
Yeah, all facts.
Right?
Absolutely. At the level of,
we are both, I see potential and you're selling a blueprint. These two can be magical.
That's facts.
But if you move past that, you just have to know the playing field that you in. When this is the type of man you looking for, you better be looking close.
I think
you better have a list of questions a mile long, because I'm telling you, most men, just in real life, they're not concerned about a woman's emotions, her input to what he doing. They ain't concerned with that if they already got money.
See, that's bullshit.
Can I piggyback?
You gonna have to hear what I gotta say.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there are men that exist that care about the opinion of women.
I agree.
I feel like respectfully what you're saying does sound very how do you say patriarchy. It sounds very misogynistic, but I know that you don't mean that way. I think it's just like, I get what you're saying. What I hear you saying is when men are established, they're not looking to women to add to that. And then even as women, we shouldn't be looking to, if we're looking at the potential, we shouldn't be wanting to add or, feeling like we need to add to what they already have established. But as a woman, and I know for my individual desires, I can only speak for me, what I know exists and absolutely can be created is a connection to which we create together and we build a life with both of our perspectives involved.
Thanks.
Even if you do have something established, I'm in full knowing that when I meet my husband, I'm going to be in full swing in my career. I'm going to be making more money than I've ever made before. I'm going to be in leadership positions that I've never seen myself in before. And it's going to be an amazing time. Now, I don't want the man that I meet to feel threatened by that, but then also come in and say, here's how I can make that better, queen, and get off your feet for this, queen. And then for him, I'm looking at him the same way because I have the same mindset as you. And I don't think we talk enough about the masculinity that exists in women and the femininity that exists in men as well. So in your when I look at a man, I'm looking at how can I access the femininity in you and bring something that you have not felt before. And as a woman, the masculinity that exists in me, how can I mirror that? And how can you mirror that for me? And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I feel that essentially we all want.
Okay.
Come on now, because
this is a lot.
Come on, man. I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you, sister. I've never agreed with you more, but I also believe, right?
Come on. I'm gonna snatch it when you say something.
There you go. I also believe though it is not that a man wants to be, or rather, he wouldn't trust or want the input of a woman once he's established. It's having to walk that road to get established.
That's right.
That's specifically what I'm talking about.
Once a man is established, he's looking for someone who can appreciate what he has established.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever done your makeup, your hair, your outfit, and you felt like $1,000,000? You FaceTime your girls, everybody agreed. You lit. You lit.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And a dude comes to you and is like, you know what you could do differently?
Come on now. Come on now. Preacher.
What you could do differently?
Come on.
Because I don't think she did the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a shot to the heart. Like, what you mean? Like, everybody think, No.
Or I prefer your makeup off, baby girl. You know, don't wear no makeup.
Yeah, it's like it shoots you down. And so as a man, once you're established, we're not looking for someone to be like, oh, well, you're established here, but you can do this, you can do this, you can do blah, blah, blah. No. I'm looking for someone who is like, I've worked my entire life to get this. This is here. Here is cool. I love here. Do you like here?
See, but I like here.
With me.
I like here. Okay, let me give you a metaphor.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Let's go. I love
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we on the road, right? We on the road. We on a journey, and we stop. We need gas, right? And obviously, every car needs gas. I'm not looking at you no type of way for your car needs gas, right? And you stop at a Valero, and I'm like, baby, it's a quick trip down the street. Like, that is premium gas. Like, and I'm like, just go a little bit longer, and you could absolutely have that quick trip gas. And so, based on my advice, 6 miles down the road, based on the gas you got at this gas station because it was convenient, but because of something I foresaw, because you are the head and I'm the fletches, I'm guiding what you're doing. So I'm able to see things you can't see in the spiritual realm. Every woman has the intuition that a man does not possess. So I'm able to see things in a certain way that you can't see them. So I'm saying, baby, you know, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe let's do this. Or when you go into that meeting today, try to do this because, you know, your employee, Angela, she's been going through it. Something like that. I feel like women add a certain essence that men don't. We're not looking to come be your partner or be another man to you. We're looking to come to be your woman and add a certain thing that you don't already have.
And we'll open that door when it's ready. But here's the problem is that we don't even get that opportunity because women come in and they're like, ooh, this, you need Drake's here. And it's like, bro, like, that's how you got me feeling like bro now, you know what I mean? And it's like, calm down.
I think it depends on the woman.
It certainly does, but I mean, generally across the board, women tend to get comfortable, and after they do, they tend to want to tell you everything that you're not doing versus appreciating what you are.
Definitely also depends on the woman, yeah.
It's like, why? Some things, for example, like, I could give you so many different examples where I've been given advice to do certain things with my life that are just unnecessary. And it's like, at the end of the day, if no one's missing any meals, I'm not unhappy, I'm not depressed. Why are you bringing this extra element of stress? And now you feel like, because I'm not taking your advice, now you feel like it's something to do with you. Now you feel like, well, you're just not doing it because I said it. Now you feel some type of way because I don't want to move in a direction that you want me to move, but you have no idea, like, all the calculus that goes into my decision making. And why would you care? And why would I want to bore you with the details when we're all eating good and nobody's starved? Like, what?
Yeah.
Is it advice or is it just showing to bring your attention to something so you could be more of a whole human being?
Right.
Because I'm just kind of thinking like what you said, like, one of the things my mom will always say is, you know, the man is the head of the household. He is the visionary. He makes the decisions. But the woman is the neck. And you know what the neck does? The neck supports and turns and shows you where you need to go.
That's right.
It's not necessarily telling you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. But it's like, hey, look over there. Like,
what's that?
What is that over there? You know, like, maybe you should just bring that into you. Maybe not make a decision based on what you saw over there, but just take that in to make a more well-rounded decision.
It's awareness.
And if you see that over there and you're like, oh, that ain't nothing, okay, cool. I did what I had to do. I came, I saw, I did what I needed to do.
Exactly.
And then we move on. What's for dinner?
What you want?
Oh, man.
So, you got anything else, man?
Look at me, just.
I think that kind of wrapped it up.
All right, then. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you. Was that
One step forward, 2 steps backwards, yeah. Immature lover who don't use big words, yeah. I don't need commenting at all because I know what I want. Baby, can't you figure it out? What's going on?